Hi, everyone. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of setting up our journals in InDesign. So I have updated the assignment. So we now have everything written down. Again, to be clear, we're taking photos of various products, posters, anything where you see some type that you like, take a photo. A maximum of 3 online images. So if you take a screenshot, something online that you might like, but again, a maximum of 3 of those. The rest should be actual photographs of things you're seeing when you're out and about. We're going to set this up on an 8.5 by 11 page. We're using those 2 by 2 inch boxes. So first and foremost, once you start saving your photos, I want to make sure that those photos end up in your project folder, not sitting within iPhoto or on your phone. So what you need to do is either AirDrop, email them, drag them from iPhoto into the folders. Any way you need to do that, the best way I would suggest is to already have them organized and separated into your 4 categories: decorative, hand-drawn, sans serif, and serif. And then we also have a folder called working. So I have a folder images, that's where we put all of our images, and working, that would be our InDesign file. Let's go ahead and set that file up. Here's our completed version. So what we're going to do is we're going to go File, New Document. So once we get into new document, you might already have 8.5 by 11. You can access that from the print tab. We can also manually type in 8.5 by 11. Our orientation automatically is portrait because, as noted, width is always first. So if our width is smaller than our length, it's automatically in a portrait orientation. I want to make sure that we do not have this checked off. So please go ahead and uncheck the facing pages tab. That's for if you're setting up multiple pages in a book. So we don't want that today. We're just doing 1 page. What I do want to make sure we have is our margin. So I set up the margins here, which is 1.5 on the top and bottom and 1.25 on the left and right. So let's go ahead and set that up. So making sure by default, this is usually locked. What we want to do is unlock it. So you can see it's a broken link. Again, top and bottom is 1.5. So we're going to go top 1.5, bottom 1.5, left and right 1.25, and 1.25. Whoops. Take note here, in this menu that I've taken a screenshot of, top and bottom are stacked, left and right are stacked. In the InDesign home screen, top and bottom are left or right. So make sure you're reading what you're putting in. Always, by default, let's always set up a bleed. Standard bleed is 0.125 an eighth, which is an eighth of an inch. And let's go create. So now walking through here. So that red line there, that's our bleed line. And this pink line is those margins. So we have 1.5, 1.5, 1.25, 1.25. So I'd like for you to open up a couple menus to start off. If you do not already have this reference bar at the top, you can bring that up by saying Window, Workspace, Essentials Classic. If you do not like having that up there and you want just that transform tool, we're going to go Window, Object, and we say Transform. So once we have that up there, we're ready to roll. So as we mentioned, we need 2 by 2 boxes and we need 4 rows of them. So we're going to have 3 2 by 2 boxes and 4 rows. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our rectangle frame tool, which is the box with the X in it. Let's go ahead and click that. We can hold shift down. Shift constrains our proportion. So this way our length and width is equal sizing. Or if you're scaling an image up, you're making sure the proportions are scaled. But I'd like to work quickly. So what I want to do is when I select that, I'm just going to click on the artboard and we get a menu pop up. So now I can literally specify exactly what I want for my width and height, which is 2 by 2, pressing OK. So what I want to do is I want to bring this picture box to the top left corner. I'm not going to move it with this because that's going to make another box. I need to go ahead and grab that black arrow. I'm going to take that box, I'm going to move it to the left corner, and it already automatically snaps to that point. If you do not feel it snap to that point, you can go View, up the top View, Grids and Guides, and we want to say Snap to Guides, and Smart Guides is a great one to have on there. So now again, I need to create 2 more boxes, so I can do the same by selecting this box and adding 2 more, but I like to work quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this box and I'm going to hold down Option and Shift and I'm going to click that box and hold down that button and then drag it over until I feel that snap, and then release everything on the keyboard and the mouse. Now I have two. Again, I'm going to click, I'm going to hold Option Shift, and I'm going to click that box and drag it over. You can see those two arrows. You can see a black and a white one appear. Click and release. Now I have 3 boxes, but now I need 3 more rows for 4 total. So instead of doing that with each and every box, again, I like to move quick. So I'm going to go to the top left corner. I'm going to click, hold, and drag. You see this black line showing up. I'm going to drag it across all 3 boxes so that now selects all of those. And just as I did previously, I'm going to hold Option Shift, and I'm going to drag that down. Again, Shift keeps everything in line in the same spot. And now we're going to do it 2 more times. And there we are. We have our 3 rows, or sorry, 3 columns of 4 rows. So we're on our way now, and what we just need to do now is import our pictures. So what we need to do is we're going to decide if this is our serif row. Our first row is our serif row. First row, serif. So I'm going to hold this down, and I'm going to go File, Place. Place now brings up our menus to select our images. So what we're going to do is we're going to now click through our folders, and we're going to go ahead and find our images. So this is our serif font section. So I'm going to go over to my serif folder because, again, I organized my images previously, so there's no guessing at this stage. And I'm going to click one of my files, and I'm going to press Open. So what I need to do with this file is I really wanted to zoom in on this font because that's the serif font I want to display. But you can see it automatically imports kind of funny, and it changes the crop. We can move that around because right now the picture is just kind of visiting and sitting within this box. I'm going to go to this white arrow now. Again, if we select the black arrow, we're going to move that whole physical box. And we don't want to do that. We just want to move the picture inside, and we do that with the white arrow. Now I'm going to click that image, and you can see this orange box automatically show up. I can now use, you can see this little hand, I can now use this white arrow, and I'm going to move this around. I can go over to the corners and wait until I see those arrows prop up, and I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to open up this box because what I want to do is I want to zoom in on the font. So this way, when I submit this to me, I'm only seeing that serif font. And feel free to get creative with how it's cropped. The resolution on these are very low. Please note yours should be much higher res because you took photos of them. These I just gathered a few quick shots strictly for the tutorial. So again, yours should be much better resolution, and those are photographs. Okay, so there's my first one. I'm happy with how that crop looks. And let's bring another one in. So now I'm going to select this box, File, Place. Now let's check this one out. Let's go for this one. I really liked the Vogue in the serif font. So I'm now going to click that and go Open. So again, you can see it doesn't automatically zoom into where you need it. It's going to plunk that in there centered in the image. So again, I'm going to go to my white arrow. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now I can move this around to where I want this to be. Again, we want to make sure we fill that 2x2 space. So we don't want something like this. But what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in substantially. Again, don't look at the resolution. Yours should be much, much higher than this. And there we go. So we can zoom in on maybe the letter that we like. I really love that G and the part of that U. So maybe that's where I'm going to crop this one. Let's go to our second row. So what's our second row supposed to be? Sans serif. Okay. File, Place. You can also do this by hitting Command and the letter D. I'm going to just click down into my folders. I'm going to go sans serif, and let's find the one that I really wanted to zoom in on. Here we go. Beautiful poster, great font. Again, you need to adjust the crops. We're going to go to that letter, or sorry, that white arrow. And I'm going to crop this where I like it. I kind of like it a little more open. So again, holding Shift, make sure you always hold Shift when you are scaling images down. Okay. And there we go. So now we start plunking all of those in, making sure we light the crops, making sure our resolution's good. We have our rows correct, serif, sans serif, row 3, decorative or script, and the final one is handwritten fonts. From here, last but not least, I should have done this a lot earlier, but we're going to go File, Save As. Please be sure by default, it is not saving into the cloud. Some of you might get a prompt that opens up here that says Save to the cloud. We want to make sure that we click, if that comes up, that we say Save to our computer. Now again, from the beginning, as I showed you here in our folders, we wanted to have a working folder. So in that working folder is where I'm going to house that InDesign file. So I'm going to click working and I'm going to change this name. So I'm going to call this K Wiki Journal. Press save and we're done. So now we have one last step before we hand this in. We just need to make a PDF. So all we do to make a PDF, once we're completed, we're happy with it, we're good to go. We go File, Export. So now I'm going to go back another folder. So I have my working folder, my images folder, and what I want to have now is I'm going to have my final folder. This is where I'm going to save my final. So I always know that this is the file I need to link when I submit to the Dropbox. Again, making sure it says Adobe PDF print here. That file name should stay the same as what we named that working folder. Press save. But we always want to make sure these are preset ones. So we always want to make sure it either says high quality or press quality, one of those. Press export. And now, folks, we are done. Go ahead and double click to open the file. And here we are, again, really low res. I will not be happy if you submit low res, but once we have all those blocks filled in with all of our pictures, we're ready to roll. Good luck.